Hey, what is up, everybody? This is your boy AJTRIP, and welcome to the top 10 list of the top 10 NBA players revisited. This is something where I did a while ago, a few years ago actually, where I did my top 10 uh, NBA players of all time, and I thought I should revisit it just like I did my quarterbacks list because a couple of things have happened since then, and with all this talk about Stephen Curry and where his legacy ranked and everything like that, I thought I would go back, look, and rank them, see if I need to make any changes or any other different things or anything like that. So that's what we're gonna do here. We're gonna take a look at my top 10 list once again. This is gonna come from Ranker, and we're going to see where everybody lies now. Alright, so let's go ahead and check out my new top 10 list. You can see there on the screen what it is. We have Kevin Durant at 10, Russell at 9, Larry Bird at 8, Steph Curry has made it to 7, Tim Duncan is 6, Kobe is 5, Magic is 4, Shaq is 3, LeBron is 2, and Michael Jordan, of course, is number 1. So let's go through and let's talk about all of these. Starting with number 10, Kevin Durant at number 10. There's even been talk of lately that Charles Barkley went on to get up and talked about, and he had been talking about Kevin Durant for a while on the TBS, on the inside the NBA as well, when they talked about Kevin Durant, and he's used his term driving the bus. He used to be driving the bus, and that he wasn't driving the bus in Golden State. Tim Legler on He's Been Get Up, he made an interesting thought. He said that Kevin Durant was driving the bus when he was in Golden State, but the registration and then registration and license was it was heading to Steph Curry. So he kind of made that instance. So listen, I think Kevin Durant, he's got a great chance to make it into that top 5. I think he can. I think he can even probably get up to 2, be the second greatest player of all time. But he needs to do a lot more work, in his career, and he's got time to do so, and I think he can do that. But I think Kevin Durant's already a top 10 player. As for whether or not he needs to be quote unquote driving the bus, I think it would maybe be cool to see. Just like some people said Steph Curry needed to win the MVP to maybe cement his legacy, whatever that may be. I think the same may be for Durant. Durant needs to be the person, where it's his team, and just like I said, because even when Kevin Durant was there and he was the best player on the Golden State Warriors, it was still Steph Curry's team. So I think Charles Barkley is a little bit correct when he says that Kevin Durant needs to go and be the leader of a team that wins the championship. So I definitely think I agree with him on there. But Kevin Durant is 10. I think he's already one of the top 10 best players of all time. Bill Russell is 9. And listen, I did not see Bill Russell play. I did not see him coach or do anything like that. But when a man has 11 championships, I think you got to give him respect. I'm not one that puts everything on championships. Those who are long-time watchers and listeners of this program, and you know how I feel about that with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. I'm not someone who just goes championship. I mean everything. I always say the eye test is the key, but I did not see Bill Russell play. But so for me, I just think it would be ridiculous not to have Bill Russell in the top 10, at least when the man has won 11 championships. So Bill Russell's number 9 on my list. Larry Bird is 8. He is one of the best players you can ever think of. I mean, he was, people always say, if he could, if he was playing now, he would be deadly from the 3. He would be shooting as many threes as Steph Curry would be. He would probably be the all-time leading three-point shooter already. And he was dominant. He was, I remember going back and looking at some of those stats from the 80s, and he was leading. He was, averaging 30 points and 10 rebounds and 7 assists. He was one of the first people to do those type of things. So he's always been great, always been absolutely fantastic. And there might have been a little bit of obvious, maybe some racism there, We know what Isaiah Thomas said about Larry Bird back in the 80s, and and I think maybe some people may feel like that about Larry Bird, that you know he's that because he's white, maybe he get way too much credit, because he was a white man playing in a league of black people, and he was dominating. But I don't think that's the case. He is an absolute transformative player to ever play this game. And if it wasn't because of him and Magic, the NBA may not be what the NBA is today, even if Michael Jordan came along. So, with that being said, Larry Bird is number 8 on this list. Stephen Curry, I have 7. The greatest shooter of all time should be in the top 10 list. When you're great at one thing and you change the game like he and the Golden State Warriors have, where it's 3-point shots. I mean, sure, Mike D'Antoni may have came along and had that, key or three, style offense. You either get a shot, you get a shot in the key, or you take a 3-point shot. But Steph Curry is just, man, what he's done has just been incredible, along with his tag team partner of Klay Thompson. But Steph Curry and is one of the all-time greats. His legacy was already what it was. I think this most recent 4th NBA championship, Finals MVP, just pretty much proved it. He's the only unanimous NBA MVP ever. Steph Curry, number 7 on this list. Tim Duncan, number 6, the greatest power forward to ever play the game, the big fundamental, whatever else you want to call him. True magic, was all about on the court and never about, off the court things, anything like that. 5 championships, an all-time great. Kobe Bryant, rest in peace. He's a top fiver, 5 championships as well. It's just incredible. What a player. He's the only one closest to Michael, to being Michael than there ever was when it comes to the elite dominance and sheer will to bring your team closer to where it was before. And he was the first one to ever, and he was also the first person to ever drive me crazy, as people talk about people better than Michael. And but give him all his due respect, just fantastic player, all time great. And everyone, including myself, misses him, wishes that he was around. But I'm sure he would have a lot to say about the game, and still try to do. But Kobe is 5. Magic is 4. The reason why I think I have Magic ahead of Kobe is because I just think, again, it's because of how he and Bird, dominated the NBA in the 80s and brought the NBA to light. And I think Magic, his skills and everything like that, he was listed at 6'9". He's actually 6'5". And if you kind of don't forget, you kind of wonder, how is he 6'5", look on YouTube or look on any other video sites. Look for Howard Stern on the Magic Johnson show, and Magic Johnson had his talk show, and I think you can see that Howard Stern was 6'5", and Magic Johnson stands just the same height as both of them. And you can even see they go to Drew Carey, who's in the audience, and Drew Carey points it out that they're actually the same height. So he's actually 6'5", and he played center at 6'5" in a game against the I forget who it was the 76ers or something, like, in his rookie year when Kareem was out. And he was fantastic. A career shortened because of his HIV diagnosis, and he's since then become he's become a hero for people with HIV, because back when he caught it in the early 90s, it was a death sentence. But he is still, from November 91, here we are, 2022. That's 30 years. from his diagnosis, and he's still here with us. And I know that you can go into the top 10 list, but I just want to bring it up because that is such an amazing thing. And but yeah, it's all his on the court stuff. He's got 5 rings as well. He's truly amazing. Magic Johnson, number 4 on this list. I have Shaq 3, and the reason why I have Shaq 3 because Shaq was the most dominant player in the history of the NBA. Now, some people would say that was Wilt Chamberlain, and somebody might say, "Well, you don't even have Wilt Chamberlain in your top 10." Yeah, well, I don't. And the reason why I don't is because when you are bigger and stronger than everybody else in the league, of course you should dominate. You know, the next tallest person when he played, I believe, was Bill Russell at 6'9". And Wilt Chamberlain was 7'1", 7'2". You know, so that's why Wilt Chamberlain's not on this list. And the reason why I say Shaq is the most dominant is because he was the most dominant. If he would have been taking better shape, if he was taking care of taking a hold on, I'm so fucking tongue tied. if he was in better shape most of the time, he would be amazing. He would be amazing. He might have played a couple more years as well. His body wouldn't have broke down like he did, but he was just an incredible talent. He was unstoppable in the post, and he was just fantastic. He was the most dominant player there ever was, and I think one of the most dominant players in the world deserves to be top 5, and I have Shaq at number 3. LeBron is number 2. Listen, we know what LeBron is. An amazing talent. He might end up being the all-time leading scorer, and that's good, and that's fine, and that's dandy. But let's keep him where he should be, and that's at number 2. And it's not because he's got 4 rings and Michael has 6, and not because he's got 6 losses in the finals. Michael Jordan has 0. That's not the big thing here. It's the eye test, and the eye test shows that LeBron's a great player, but he's just not better than Michael. The things that Michael could do, the way we talked about Kobe and how Kobe had that thing where he could will not only himself but his teammates to victory. LeBron has a little bit of that, but he doesn't have it like Kobe. He definitely doesn't have it like Michael. LeBron's and he's an all-time great. He's the second greatest of all time. I want everybody to just keep him there. Let's just not go crazy and just want to give him to be, greatest of all time, because that just shows how ignorant you are. Just keep him at number 2 where he belongs, and let's celebrate his life and his career and everything he does on the court, everything he does off the court. Just fantastic. A fantastic player, maybe even a better person. LeBron James, number 2. And Michael, number 1. I don't have to say too much about Michael. We know what Michael is. We know who he is. We know what he done. And if you didn't know, if you were too young for it, you watched The Last Dance and you found out. And enough can be said about that. Michael, greatest of all time, point blank period, in the discussion. All right, y'all. So there you have it. My top 10 NBA players of all time revisited. Post your comments down below. Tell me what you guys think. Let me know what you guys think about my list and everything like that. Do you agree with me about the Wilt Chamberlain thing? I know some people may, I think it's a very interesting topic to go. We talk about Wilt Chamberlain and where he ranked, because look at this. This is a guy who averaged 50 and he averaged 50 and he averaged 20 rebounds a game in one season. So nobody's ever going to do that again. And he was a fantastic NBA player. And they changed. He's one of the people. He was the first person the NBA changed the game because of. But like I said, You're bigger and you're stronger, you should average 50. And you should average 50 points a game. You should average 20 rebounds a game. So, there's that. I don't have Kareem in my top 10. I think Kareem is probably 11 or 12. You know, something like that. The all-time leading scorer. There's no disrespect to Kareem. I didn't see most of his career as well. But, you know, what I did see was, I think, you know, very incredible. And I think, you know, if you maybe want to go to, you know, when you bring in high school and college, maybe you might say he's the greatest basketball player of all time because he won in high school, he won in college, and then he went to the pros and did what he did. Maybe he's, you know, maybe you want to say something like that. If you want to talk about an entire lifetime, the greatest NBA players of their life of a lifetime. You know, NBA, top 10 basketball players of a lifetime, maybe, but where you would put all that other stuff in. But I think there are some other people who are better than him. I think just because you're the all-time leading scorer doesn't mean that you are, um, you know, you are just necessarily, you know, you should automatically be considered a top five. Because I've heard Stephen A. Smith, as this has all been talked about, they've been talking about Steph Curry's legacy and everything like that. They talked about where, you know, you kind of need to put Kareem on Mount Rushmore because he was all-time leading scorer. I don't believe that. I don't think so. Just because you're the all-time leading scorer, that, you know, that just means that you played a long time. You know, I don't think that necessarily means that you were, you know, we deserve to be on that Mount Rushmore because if you look at my list, the Mount Rushmore for me would be Michael, LeBron, Shaq, and Magic. So I don't agree with that. But what do you think about Kareem not being in the top 10? Or is there anybody else that you think that deserves to be in the top 10? There are some people, when I first did this in the past, I had Oscar Robinson in the top 10. Oscar Robertson, who was the first player in NBA history to have a triple-double in a season, average a triple-double in a season. So, you know, and there's many others as well that, you know, where is, you know, Jesus Christ, where is, you know, Karl Malone, who's the second all-time leading scorer? Where is Kevin Durant, Kevin Garnett, and many others? You know, I'm just saying, I don't necessarily think Karl Malone or Kevin Garnett. Why the fuck can I talk? I don't know. I don't think they're deserving of top 10 spots, but maybe some people might think they are. You know, that's their opinion. So, when it comes to this, everybody's opinion is, you know, you can have them, except if you think LeBron is better than Michael, then your opinion is not invalid. I've always said that. I don't make no sweats about that. But yeah, again, let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is your boy AJTRIP signing off. As always, be good to each other, y'all. Be careful out there. And I am out.